Okay, so train's finally gone. I still got some light out here. I don't know how well we're going to be able to see the $100,000 train deck. Now remember, we just left an area that was built for $50,000 to $60,000. And they were on social media the other day bragging about this $100,000 deck. Now it's a decent size, but like I said, bear in mind that over there was $50,000 to $60,000. You're gonna look at what they spent wasted $100,000 on. Now there's a lot of people, I'm not gonna pick it apart like some people do. Some people picking apart these little cracks. Those cracks aren't that bad. That one right there though, that one's bad. That board's gonna fall through. About a 6x6 post. A little bit of foot lighting. Some of it looks kind of decently made. And like I said, it's probably 70 to 80 feet long, 12 feet wide. That part was cut out pretty bad. But there's been people on social media bashing it, as it should be in some parts. I don't agree that it's a $5,000 deck. I mean, it's a... You got 2x12s right here. But I'm going to show you something I noticed that is going to wear over time on this and all that. See this nice 6x6 they used? Instead of doing a good support the way they should do it, they actually, this 2x6 right here, they notched this much of the wood out. Then this way, they notched the wood out. So you're basically left with about 3.5, maybe right at 4 inches, by like 4 inches, where they've notched. They've took away the wood to set that in there. And I understand it a little bit. It gives you, but this outer board too, they only use one all the way around. This spot right here, look, one bolt, one bolt. They may have a couple little screws in there, but this is support. This is a support board. One bolt. Not even on that. So it's not even resting on this as to the intention as to why it's not. It's the only thing holding it, this support, is one bolt. This side, no bolts. No bolts, just some screws. The support for this deck in this area, screws. Screws, that's gonna fall apart. Over here, notched. Again, okay, this one, let's take a look at how much. Look at that right there. That's how much is there. That's the type of work this is being done here. At least they got 2 boards right here, whereas the rest of around the place they've got 1. The main support, they're using 1. That side they use 1. Part of the wheelchair they actually use 2. The rest of this whole daggum deck, all the way around it, is 1 board and notched, just the way they notched this. This board right here is more than likely just screwed into that one. With this one, the screws are on the outer side. Got a couple of little lights there. You also can see, I don't know if you can really see, but you can see the yellow wood in there. That's where they've come back and they've replaced some wood. I guess one of the reasons it's under construction now. There you go. $100,000 deck they bragged about you could come to and use, and you can't use it. And it's because people were coming out here and taking pictures of it. But I didn't want to just take pictures and take pictures of all the bad things, because it does have some good. The idea behind it was good. I want to say that I think that it included the concrete footers, and this concrete, that concrete, and those 2 little grills is what they said. But like I said, bear in mind, this is what they got for $100,000. That was done for 50 to 60. You got concrete footers there, concrete footers. But this right here, like I said, 1 board. You can, no, wait, this one's got 2. But that means they would have had to have double notched this board. But I think this may have 2. But like I said, that means they cut away past this out of that. Put that in. And that in itself may not be that bad of a deal. For support, for, you know, and all that type of stuff. But here is something I'm going to point out that I've noticed. This whole damn $100,000 deck, excuse me, oh look, 2 bolts. 2 bolts. 2 bolts. On this side, double bolts at all the poles, the support poles. Huh. Other side screws. And 1 place, 1 bolt. But here, let me get back to what I was going to say. This whole deck that they spent $100,000 on is not sealed. There's no sealant. There's no water protection. There is the treatment that came from the producer who made the wood that helps with the rot and stuff a little bit, but there's no sealant. There's no protection. Something else I want to point out, which I pointed out around the other place and all that, there's no roof. Sure, it's a deck and they're calling it a train deck, but it's a $100,000 deck. This is not a $100,000 deck. It should have a roof. At the least, one of the first places I walked to, over there, the old railroad track that they turned into the bike trail, that roof, and it could come all the way down to here, and then go to that pole right there across. Not over the whole train, just this end. And the other thing it's missing, because this is obviously done for tourists. This isn't done for the people who live here. The people who live here, we see too many damn trains as it is. We stop at trains all the damn time. We're not going to come up here and sit and use this. This is for tourists who come into the town and come into the place where you visit a town, and I can't think of what it's called and all that, but the visitor center. Come to the visitor center, get stuff and all that type of stuff, and do it. That's what this is for. But how many visitors in our hot summer is going to, and let me show this, stand on this deck? There's no seating. There was no seating included around this side or this right here where there should be. Doesn't have to be any over there. And possibly a picnic bench or two up on top. But for $100,000, this should have included a roof on this end and should have included seating. Either a wood seating thing that goes down the side and then comes right here, or some of them metal benches like's over there that'll last forever, because that over there is going to be there 100 years from now. You'd be lucky if this makes it 20 before it starts falling apart. And then if they don't fix it by then, it's going to get even worse. Because like I said, it has no sealant anywhere on this deck. I walked around the whole thing. Like I said, you can see the weathering that's already happened on the boards in just the month it was complete before, where they come back in and patched it with some new boards. And like I said, I was talking a while ago about some people picking apart, cracks in these. But I just noticed something. This one needs to be replaced. Some of those other cracks aren't that bad. This crack, you could probably put 2 quarters in there side by side, and I can see a good, and this goes all the way down, and I can see a good 2.5 inches inside in there. What makes it worse is you can see the crack right here too, where it's starting to crack on this side, and then you got it cracking down the front. But like I said, this one, that's going to fall apart. They already come in and replaced a board here and a board here, like I said, with some of the other stuff, but they did a good job of rounding some of the edges and stuff like that in places. This looks replaced. They didn't round here, so this is going to start tearing up, weathering, splintering. So you see a little bit of lights there, light up there, the old dining hall. But this is just, man. There's a perfectly unused grill. Never been used, probably never will be. Unused, probably never will be. You got this area up under here. This is the back of the Rail Depot. Look, roof with lights. Imagine if it had, with that same color, the aluminum, just a little roof like that, and it could be done, like I said, like the one they did over there for the bike thing. You got chairs sitting down, and whoever ran that chain doesn't know how to run a chain through rocking chairs, because you can't rock. I know why they did it. They did it to keep people from stealing chairs, but that just... There's my red it balloon I found. Chairs. That's the Sports Hall of Fame. A little bit more of the Sports Hall of Fame stuff in here. Well, that's the cartoon stuff. This is some of the cartoon stuff from where some of y'all may remember. Waycross actually had a decent festival. It was called Pogo Fest. It was different. It was unique. they honored cartoonists and all that every year. And some of the stuff is in here in this building. Some of it's in the Swamp Park. But they also had a cartoonist Hall of Fame, Walk of Fame. Well, guess what? Here it is. Hidden from everybody. Now you see Pogo, Walt Kelly creator, dedicated October 93. This was the first Pogo Fest, or the first one where they did the honoring. Second one is the Longhorns. Oh man, I lost my light, so don't know if I'm gonna get my light back. But you see the Longhorns. Bill and Bunny, host, creators, dedicated 93. Barney Google and Stuffy Smith. Billy DeBeck and Fred Laswell in 94. Beetle Bailey from Mort Walker, dedicated in 95. Bone from Jeff Smith, 97. So that's where they skipped 96. Kevin and Kel, Bill Holbrook, 98. And then they skipped 99, 2000, 2001. You got Mutt from Patrick McDonald in 2002. And now, I don't know if they don't have the stars for some others, but I know that I'm almost positive they did Scooby-Doo and his creator, and I don't see it out here. And I know for a fact they did Dennis the Menace, because my son was about 5 or 6 when Dennis the Menace would have been here. And that would have been probably the 99, 2000, 2001 that's missing. But because he came and the guy who took over for the original creator came and to the thing with the honoring and drew pictures and stuff like that. Big pictures on poster board, not small ones. And my son went up there to get his done, and now he would draw pretty much whatever you asked him to draw. And well, like somebody was, one of the kids would say, I want Dennis the Menace playing soccer. I want him playing football. I want him with his dog. I want him with, and he would draw it all. Well, my son was really into dinosaurs. And my son told him, he looked at me, he said, okay, what do you want? My son said, I want Dennis the Menace riding a dinosaur. And he just kind of smiled, and he was like, what? He goes, I want Dennis the Menace riding a dinosaur. He was like, okay, I thought that's what you said. And he said, well, let's give it a shot. And he pulled out his pencil, and because he does a pencil sketch before he would do pen over it. And he was kind of sketching with his pencil, and then he proceeded to tell us a story. He goes, you know what? He said, I'm going to do the best I can. He was drawing a T-Rex for him to ride. And he goes, I'm going to do the best I can. He said, because I honestly have never drawn a dinosaur. He said, not only have I never drawn a dinosaur, he said, but before I took over as artist for Dennis, he said, He said, I knew a pretty good bit about the history. He said, but I sat down and looked at and went through everything that the original creator, I can't remember his name, had ever drawn. He said, and I can tell you with 100% certainty, Dennis the Menace has never in his history appeared with a dinosaur. He said, so this is a one of a kind. He said, it's something that hasn't been done before. He said, may not be done again. And my son still has that, the drawing. Like I said, it was on a big poster board, and it was neat. So like I said, he should be over there. I don't know where his star's at, but here we go to the train deck, and this is I'm gonna come back when it gets a little bit darker, but it's I think it's a little around 5:30 or so. But like I said, this is a daggum roof on this would have been so much better. There's stuff that they still need to come and fix, and like I said, under construction, so you can't use the daggum thing. But this is the infamous train deck that everybody's complaining about. Like I said, not that bad of a deck, but I'd say stretching it $30,000 to $40,000. And like I said, you can also, in retrospect, you can compare it with that and what I showed you from there. This is not $100,000. I want to know where the rest of the money went, and if this place, if this thing is going to be finished, because it's not finished. It needs a roof, it needs sealant, it needs seating, it needs lights. Oh, something else they could do with that caboose that's just sitting there. I don't know how many of y'all know, but in Folkestone they have a train viewing place and all that type of stuff. One of the things they have at the train viewing place is a computer terminal thing that is hooked into the rail system, so you can tell when trains are going to be coming by, so that you don't sit here all day. Now, granted, in the last hour and a half, we've had two trains come by here, but there are times when it may be 8 to 10 hours or more before a train crosses these tracks. And I'm sure you wouldn't want to come sit here all day if you knew there was going to be no trains. So inside that caboose, they could put a train terminal thing, you know, and maybe a little museum thing or something like that to the rice yard. And like I said, a computer terminal to check to see when trains are coming. But sure would be nice to have a roof so that they wouldn't have to get off this and go huddle under that. But anyway, let's head out. Got a nice little train track down here that they had drawn. Looks like it's got coins in it, and there's a diamond or something. Coin, diamond, a key. But anyway, as y'all tell us, it's starting to get a little dark, but that's because of daylight savings time. So it's only probably around 5:30, 5:45. There's your old dining hall. Says community room on the door. The rail depot, established 1911, and the express down there. Got your Christmas lights up. But anyway, that's my little tour, and threw in a little bit of my 2 cents on some things. Like I said, that I don't know when or what they're going to do with that fiasco of the train deck, but don't know when it's going to be reopened. Don't know when people are going to be able to use it, but I do know for $100,000 should have been a lot more. Makes me wonder if it was a bidding process and just how the person was picked. All right, well, that's my little tour of Waycross. Hope y'all enjoyed.